93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's midday with Marcus Maben. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. And it's Thursday. Thursday means we're closer to Friday. Friday means we're closer to getting this football team back on the field. Some not excited, some very excited, some excited to talk about a little ACC Media Day and back channels. Steve Rummage in the building, Brian Hall in the booth.
I'm trying to finish this bagel, man. What do you want me to do? We're just going to keep playing it? I got an awesome blueberry bagel from Panera Bread with the honey cream cheese spread, man. What do you want me to do? I had to eat it. I'm sorry.
People.
And a Coke Zero.
People. If you're new to the show, you may have not known some of the day one rules. One of our day one rules was we don't talk about ages. Another day one rule is you don't get to just come around and then disappear with us. We don't take too kindly. Even if you don't listen to the whole 2 hours, you must listen to us whatever amount of time every single day. We have to be a part of your normal rotation. Okay, so since you know the rules, I know you knew yesterday what conversation we had. Now Steve got a little bitey with me yesterday because we kind of discussed openly about Steve and his inability to resist the burgers and fries. And I talked about this in an empathetic way. I said, I understand, Steve. But it's a fact that you can't avoid the burger and fries that are especially free, donated, and taste good. Oh, what are you talking about? I haven't eaten all day. And I said, Steve, at 1:45, there is no way that you've been conscious on this planet and there's been no food to touch your lips. People, we are starting this show. I mean, we left the studio getting ready to do our last 60-second preps to do a show. And during that 60-second prep time, Steve returns minutes later with a full bagel spreaded, cream cheesed out. I mean, a delicious, delectable raisin bagel with Coke Zero.
No, blueberry, man.
Whatever it was.
I'm not eating.
I mean, completely breakfast started, 60-second break. Steve, do you understand why we kind of questioned?
Mm-hmm. Now I'm over here like.
Every time I'm in the kitchen.
Every time I come in the studio, you're in the studio. Eating up all the bagels.
So, Steve, how was it?
It was amazing. It was so good. Look, Sales Extraordinaire, Don and Bree had bagels back there. They were eating it. Looked really good. They said, hey, there's one still left in there. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take half of it. It was awesome. I have no regrets. And here I am. And I had a Coke Zero. So I'm good to go. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 calories.
You ever have something on your phone? And how irritating is it when the little notification red thing won't go away? Like I have a message, but I don't see myself needing any message.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like I got to.
No, mine does that all the time. Don't worry about it.
Really?
That's an iPhone thing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it'll stop eventually.
What about people with OCD who can't handle something like that?
Turn it off and turn it back on.
Well, so if anybody texts me or call me, my phone is off.
But to your point, now that we have
Derailed the show for first.
Went past everything that
Yeah.
we needed to there. Yeah, I mean, today, I mean, there's obvious football news to talk about. There's a football game that I'm struggling with because I haven't. It's weird, man.
You forgot we were in the middle of football season.
It's weird, yeah. And I don't. I mean, we were talking yesterday, and it may have been Mark Ennis said, you know, what do you think's going to happen this weekend? I find myself like, man,
I left the show yesterday with the tease of that comment.
Yeah.
I'm glad you decided to pick up where we left off. Of course, people, like I said, we're going to talk about the news of the day, but just,
Sure.
but just where you're starting at, Steve.
yeah.
I'm listening.
I don't know, man. I don't.
Okay, well, I'll set up the question. Yesterday, before, as we were exiting the show, I talked about a show break conversation. Mark Ennis came into the studio and asked me what I think is going to happen this weekend, right? And with very little hesitation, because of who I am and what I am, for the good or for the bad, you know what I said? I looked him straight in the face and I said, this is going to be the weekend that the Bobby Petrino offense breaks out. Not just Bobby Petrino centric. You give me my Juwan pass on 2 weeks, hardcore prep time. Give me my enough film to watch to know that Hassan Hall is the answer and Tutu Atwell is the answer. Give my defense enough time to realize instead of getting blocked, they're going to have to crash into blockers and get physical. Just simple things that you see on the tape. You can't be ridden out of your position by somebody else. You have to, you have to bring the fight to other people. Now, I've said this all year and I've believed it. And I'm not making narrative guide to make a show this way. This is what I think. Now, to be wrong in this situation, they may have to come pick me up and take me to jail, right? Because it's like, Marcus, if you believe this, I didn't look good. If you believe, Steve, stop looking at food on TV.
What's Phil bringing in today? I'm so hungry.
If you can watch the product that you see and still say, this is the weekend the offensive, opens up. Is that due to my past history, belief in that he's a good coach? Or is it eternal optimism?
Well, let's not act like there's not a little bit of confidence that Wake Forest is crap. Because that's where I stand. Look, I honestly, I think Louisville's going to win. But
is Wake Forest better than Western Kentucky?
I don't know, Brian. What do you
No.
think?
No, they're probably better this year for sure. Western's
probably
down for sure.
Yeah, probably.
I'd say Wake Forest is better.
But it's not. I mean, it's not a considerable amount. I mean, they're probably a touchdown better than Western Kentucky. I guess which would make them 4 points better than us. I don't know if we're playing that game, but I mean, look, I think Louisville's going to win. But the problem might come in is who cares?
Do you not care about player development at this point?
Yeah. Oh, I care about player development but that's really all I care about. I've kind of the wins and losses now. I'm like,
so the system,
whatever.
Wins and losses, the points, the performance, only personal, individual player development.
Yeah,
learn the reps.
Yeah, like the crazy thing is I think we have came to a point. I'm not saying me personally. I'm just saying in general where if it was announced there's going to be a coaching change at the end of the year, I think people would want to win out. I think right now you're in a weird place with this fan base. This is the
Louisville world we live in right now.
Yeah, where we're kind of like, I don't know. I mean, if you lose to Wake, that's the only game you can win. Well, no, I mean, I'm not gonna say that. You can beat other teams. I mean, it's still it's still good players on this team. Okay, I'm not acting like they. That's can't what I'm saying.
You have to still acknowledge that you're not dead.
Yeah,
you're never dead like that.
But if you lost to Wake, I mean, you are. I mean, you're close. like you're real close. So I'm not trying to, but a loss to Wake. I mean, because here's the deal: you got what 5 games left, 2 wins. You got to win 4 out of 5, which is basically every game but Clemson. You've
Right.
got to win 4 out of 5 to even make a bowl. Losing the Wake Forest game would essentially end even the thought of a bowl game. But I don't know, man. The vibe I get, and you can, 38-31, 93-9, Bill at Scorns and Son Collision Center.
8150 93.9 is the number.
Yeah, but
Oh, text line.
38-31, yeah, text line. But I think, you can tell me if I'm different. I don't know, but the vibe I get, man, a lot of people I talk to, it's almost like we're getting close to. I don't really care if we win. I mean, do you think people are going out there Saturday going, all right, let's go. Let's get it together. Let's rally around this team. Let's see what happens. Let's rally around the staff. I just don't get that vibe, man.
Here's the thing.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think they want to rally around the team. They want to rally around effort. You know how we talked about with the basketball team? If you see maximum effort, the wins and losses will take care of themselves long term.
Yes.
I think moving forward, if my team shows heart, shows passion, shows toughness, shows resiliency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then regardless of what happens moving forward, regardless who's on the sideline, at least I know I have the building blocks, the protein, the DNA, the things that a team can be built on.
But okay, here's my question. I'm asking you.
And it lets me know that the problem is not my players. And I think that's what they're looking for.
Okay, but are you looking, when you're looking for player development, and this is an honest question, I'm not asking the fan base, I'm asking Marcus Maben. Are you going to, because we'll be there Saturday, are you going to go into that game watching player development for the rest of the year thinking, what can Coach Brom do with these players? Or are you looking at player development saying, okay, moving forward next year with is Bobby getting these players?
Neither.
Okay.
Neither. And I'm curious to know, everybody else's ideas on this. When I watch, okay, here's the thing. Whatever happens when the moment after we get our food, Steve, and we sit down at our wonderful seats that Rocco and Kenny have provided us at Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah.
And our bellies are full and we're happy, right? That's when I go, come on, fellas.
Sure,
right?
And I will too.
Right?
I will too.
After the game, I'll deal with oh man, we won. It might save his job. And oh man, we won. Maybe he got it. I'll deal with every other narrative after the game.
Sure.
Now I might bark about some narratives during the game, but it won't be genuine until after the game.
Right.
But to answer your question, I will not think about either coach or coaching responsibility. Because like you said, I agree with you when you say the wins and losses are a little inconsequential. Now until you put something together, you don't worry about the record.
Right.
When I watch the player development, I am going to say, okay, is he soft? Is he getting in man coverage and just getting burnt? Right? Because you can individualize some matchups. That's what we're going to deal with in basketball. That's what was so deflating about our players when you lost to Virginia, because you didn't think Virginia, and then people. A lot of times I have to bring this back to basketball terms because life is basketball. So it was so disappointing when you watched Virginia versus Louisville because you knew they were just tougher. They weren't coached in some system that you couldn't defend. No, they opened up the floor and they said, Kyle Guy is going to truck Dangadale, right?
Yeah.
Or what's my guy's name? New York kid. The other one.
Ty Jerome.
Ty. I was going to say, the guy with the name that doesn't look like that would be his name.
Right.
Ty
right.
Jerome. We saw him. The commentator said they're just getting the ball right to the middle and just whooping their tail one-on-one, right?
Mhm.
The moment we realized, I mean, Padgett's, we're mad at Padgett because of his substitution pattern,
Yeah.
but you got to stop that kid in front of you, right?
Right.
Because there's no, like, we can say, oh, coach, well, you need to double team. And I could see a coach turning around and saying, I wish I would. I wish I would double team double team Kyle Guy when I got VJ King and Dengadale guarding them. They're 3 inches taller. They're more athletic. They have every, God-given ability to be able to stop this guy, except for a pumping, competitiveness today.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying Ty Jerome or anybody else is more competitive than VJ King. I'm just saying whatever they have on that floor. I'm using that long story to bring it right back to football. I can separate and I can look at my line. And when I see a guy line up in front of my center or my guard and push him backwards, and they run into, Trey Smith, right? I can say, you were in a one-on-one situation and you got bullied. And when I watch them run the ball against our defensive ends and they can't hold the point of attack, because I can see if you're in the right position and you're just getting pushed out of the way, then I'm like, even if I want to blame Bobby, I'm going to say, Bobby, you gambled on the wrong crew of guys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
it's still going to be your fault.
Yeah.
Right? But I will say, you let your coach down on this one. You know what I'm saying? Because that wasn't about technique. Like, I've separated play calling and all that stuff. When we watch these offensive plays and when we see Des Fitzpatrick just catch the ball, no matter what, even if it's a 2-yard, if it's a 2-yard game, but you catch the ball and you try to make something happen, you're out here playing. But the first part is you're doing your job by catching the ball. Like, we'll talk about the offensive, play calling and the defensive play calling. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for which guy takes the ball and gets 5 yards on his own. Just, I don't care. That's how you identify who are your players moving forward.
I agree. But I also think that it goes back to, I think who's leading the ship too can change. I think because you saw a guy, I think before play one way and then under another coach have a complete, well, we're watching it with Chris Mack.
Yep.
I mean, have a completely different mentality. So I will still say, because I agree with you, the player in me agrees with you. Look, you got put in position to make a play. You did not make the play. What more do we do? But sometimes I will still go back. And I hate this because this really, where I'm at right now, goes against everything I really believe with how you handle things.
Right.
But I think it will go back to, I'm almost giving them a pass. And it disgusts me. It disgusts me that when I watch a player not give or not make a play, in my mind right now, and I'm just being honest.
Because there's player and then there's observer.
Yes, and I'm on the chair right now. I'm just being honest, okay? Right. I will say, well, yeah, but maybe maybe next year, if there's different leadership, that guy will make that play. When in reality, it's like, dude, you're a player. You should go make that play anyway. Right. But that's kind of where I'm at.
No, it's what you're going through right now is having children with poor teachers, that I would never question a teacher in front of my child.
Absolutely.
You get my point.
I do. I'm that, well, it's funny. I would say, yeah, teachers, whatever. I'm like coaches.
Yeah.
but the teacher, I'm the same way.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. I would never question a coach's play calling in front of one of my kids.
Other than Elijah had a coach one time, they told him to dive at the player's knees off the line. And I was like, dude, he come over to the water thing, and I said it loud enough. I said, dude, if I ever catch you come off the line and you dive at somebody's knees, dude, I will jerk you off the field.
Until he gets a scholarship to Georgia Tech.
You're not, yeah, but dude, no, that wasn't what they were telling to do.
Right.
I'm like, dude, do not.
That's a dirty play.
That's respect
Right.
the game.
Right,
Good
right.
Gosh.
Right.
But yes, I agree.
Yeah, you
with
get my
yeah.
point. And I think there's a lot of times, I think there's too much opening, questioning. I'm going to defend my kid no matter what, you know what I'm saying, against, no, it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be the big gun parent that's always got,
Yeah, right.
that got your kid acting up,
Yeah.
in the back, in school, or, well, why didn't you point out that other kid just because my kid's big? No. Were you doing wrong? Yes. But I don't care how they handled. You got more expectations.
Well, Elijah's in a situation right now where there's a kid that's much smaller than him that is playing as much as he is in his spot. Like they're sharing time, and Elijah's like, I mean, and look, there's parents that listen to the show too, so
Right.
they know. Yeah, but I mean, he'll come home and he'll say, well, I mean, I feel like I'm doing just as good as him. I'm like, yeah, but son, you're 120 pounds. Kid's 95.
Right. It looks different.
You shouldn't be just as good.
He looks like he's giving more effort than you.
That's your fault. Yes. You're
Right.
a 5 foot to 4'6", 120 pound 9-year-old.
Right.
No, you should be playing much better than that. And that's the credit. Little kid's good, man.
Right.
It's no discredit to him. So,
But you get my point.
But the difference is, and I know I keep using my son's team, I really trust the leadership of my son's team.
Right. No.
So I say,
but that's why I'm separating it.
Yes,
That's why I'm separating it right now, because
whereas I don't with Louisville right now.
I don't want my love, respect, or disdain for what I see going on staff-wise, whichever day it is. You pick your day and pick your situation. Some things I love, some things I hate. I don't want that stuff to be influenced one iota, right?
I know.
So that's.
But would you agree with me that when the staff, I mean, in years past, we've done it with Bobby, just me and you. When you trust what the staff is doing, I think it's much easier to say no, that's a player thing. Player thing. We killed James Quick. I mean, like we crushed. I guess I don't watch my words. I know things happen and stuff. Yeah. So, but we crushed James Quick, man, for that, and we said no. The coach puts you in perfect position. That's your fault. Right now, if Des Fitzpatrick made the same play James Quick made in 2 weeks up at Clemson, I think I would go, yeah, but I mean, come on, man,
coach.
And it's like that's disgusting, but that's where.
But still, even with the James Quick scenario, I said, nah, I do spike the ball often on this one. Mm-hmm. That running out of bounds is going to cost us.
Well, you said that before the Clemson game.
That's my point.
Yeah, okay,
I said, that's what I said. I said him going out of bounds every time instead of lowering his head and because you know what you would always get? You would always end up in 2nd down and 8 instead of first down or no, I'm sorry, 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3. Instead of lowering his head, you would just run out of bounds, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So it was never the difference between us and Clemson years were the little yards.
But I'll even go back to that year because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were talking before that Clemson game, it wasn't just Quick. It was multiple players.
Yeah, no. That was my criticism on Bobby.
Yeah.
Just like my Rick criticism was lack of structured offense. Like listen, insert any bit of you're hating because you're, no. I'm telling you, if we have to decide who's going to shoot this ball on the court, you know what I'm saying? If there's not a definitive alpha scorer or 2 definitive alpha scorers, you're going to hit the wall before you should hit the wall.
Yeah.
Being on the same page. That was my criticism. Coach P, while you can draw up a million wonderful plays, but it goes back to you're concerned or preoccupied with the health of the players, which is always understandable because you don't have the depth, but that has taken its toll on the player development, on the learning how to play physical and violent on a daily basis. So here's the thing. People still have to understand. When I'm defending a Coach Petrino as a coach, I'm saying he checks 8 out of 10 boxes, right?
Yeah.
But he's going to hit the wall with the physicality with the short yardage
Yeah.
and maybe the staff selection,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that's still 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10s. Now, if you go get me another 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 9 out of 10, that's going to be either cheaper or younger or the same version, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not playing to fire him and let's go look around, because you don't give away 7s.
Right.
You don't give away 7s and 8s out of
Yes.
10s. You give away 4s, 5s,
Yeah.
6s. You know what I'm saying? Consistent, right?
Mhm.
So that's my point. And that's what I want people to know. Stuff's not emotional with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw that problem. The problem came to fruition over and over again. Now I can acknowledge that lack of getting the second or getting the physicality and your protection of kids' health will stop you from getting over the hump. Goal line has to be practiced often.
Yeah.
Goal line, there are more injuries in practice on goal line stuff. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I would.
Goal line.
Yeah.
Listen, Matt Patricia, I've always said this, so this is nothing new. Matt Patricia comes to the Detroit Lions. First day of pads, we're not even used to hitting again.
Yep.
Goal line.
Goal line. Yeah.
Goal line.
You got to be able to score, man.
You think about it. He came to the team
Yeah.
and said, what we're going to do is all that other crap, it ain't going to matter if we got the ball on the 7-yard line and we got 3 plays to get it in the end zone.
Yeah.
If we can't run this ball, you know what I'm saying, or play action you because you know we can run this ball.
Yeah.
None of football even matters. But that means you're gonna have to lose your defensive tackle. You're gonna have to lose your left guard.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to go through 2 fullbacks.
And right now, if Louisville's on the 5, you don't feel confident they're going to punch it in.
That's exactly my point. Going back to, you don't do the physicality stress.
Mm-hmm.
You might happen to have some physical guys, and you like to go find the physical guys.
Yeah.
But you don't stress the physicality.
Yeah.
In my opinion, over the last 4 years
I would agree.
of me doing the radio thing,
I would
right?
agree.
And if it costs you, it costs you.
Yes.
But it's not emotional, and that's why when people say things that are wrong, like you suck, or your character is why you no. Well, I knew from the beginning that when he left that no. We're talking about pointing out flaws
Yeah.
that cause you to make changes
Sure.
as a staff or as a head coach or anything like that. Bill at Scorns and Sons Collision Center Hotline gives us Lawrence. Thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. What's on your mind?
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Chilling.
Is Bobby going to finally give a Seam Hall more courage than this 5 or 7? Because I actually want to see him get 15 or 18 carries. I'm getting tired of seeing him run pass plays with Trey Smith. He can't catch the ball. He can't run the ball. I don't want to see that this Saturday against Wake Forest. I actually want to see him actually feed a running back, feed the stud. Because the one pass really needs Seam Hall to have a great game.
Right. No, Lawrence, listen, I appreciate the call, and I appreciate your point. And here's what's going to be fascinating, Steve. And tell me what you think. We saw it. We saw it with Brown, right? If you remember last year, right, what that game looked like. It looked like a Jeff Brom Purdue thing. Wake Forest's offense was run it, get the first down, and
Yeah.
get it to my playmaker.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more excruciating than knowing y'all have one of those and we have 6 of those.
Mm-hmm.
And you're finding a way to get that to your one over and over again. And that's why we fire defensive coordinators.
Yeah.
Because we think there is no way that you should not be able to stop one guy. Conversely, we're like, there is no way we should not be getting the ball to our those is
Yeah.
because we have 6 of those.
Because we have multiple.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't listen, and I don't care. Your line is not as big as ours, but they're physical.
Yeah.
Your defensive line's not big as ours, but they're physical.
Yeah.
And if we don't see that out of our guys, you know what I'm saying? You're like, this is going to be gut-wrenching dentistry.
Well, and I heard, I mean, I'm not throwing them under the bus. I mean, they said it on the radio, so I think it's, but I was listening, I believe it was Drew, maybe yesterday. Yesterday or the day before, and they're talking about, well, you didn't get Rondo Moore, and it was almost like and I get what they were saying. It was almost in a laughing thing. It was almost like, yeah, but you got Tutu Atwell. And I'm like, you realize
Say it, Steve.
if
out
Tutu
loud.
Atwell would just get the football,
He is Rondell Moore.
well, maybe not. He's a different type of player.
Switch them right now
Yeah.
and put Hassan Hall
Yeah.
right where Rondell Moore
Hassan
is.
Hall is different, though. Hassan Hall's a strong kid.
No, but that's
Yeah,
my point.
yeah,
No.
I'm saying.
Rondell Moore is he's sneaky strong.
Oh, no, Rondell Moore is very strong.
Right.
I'm saying, like, I think Tutu Atwell is
And I say sneaky strong because
Yeah.
his I mean, he's 190, but he squats
600
yeah,
some pounds.
That's my
Yeah,
point. You know, so when you see him, you don't say, I'm worried about him running over me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you get my point.
Yes.
If you put Tutu Atwell
I know.
on that Purdue team
Yeah.
and give us Rondell Moore,
Moore's another receiver, and Tutu Atwell's got,
Oh, my
you know,
God.
has 300-yard games already. Like, I'm not even saying he's as good of a player,
I know, but you understand what I'm
but
saying.
it's
like,
comparable.
yeah.
So I'm like, while we it was kind of a scoff a little bit, like, well, they got Rondell Moore, but, well, I mean, we got Tutu. Well, Tutu's an awesome player. He's
He's a can't miss
yeah,
5-star
Des
talent.
Fitzpatrick is every bit the player that Rondell Moore is. And I am big time on Rondell Moore. Like this is no shade at him. I think he's an awesome player.
But you know, but again, basketball terminology.
Yeah.
Rondell Moore is the guy who gets to shoot the ball all the time
Yeah.
because he gets touches. He gets
Yeah.
used to getting touches.
Absolutely.
Dez,
As he
Hassan,
should.
yeah. Dez, Hassan, these other guys, they're taking a 40% cut in production and confidence because but you have to also say we got more weapons too. You know, we got more certified
Oh,
weapons.
we do. We absolutely
So
do.
if Brown had more certified weapons,
He'd probably spread it around. more. Sure.
Yeah, if he had more talent, Rondell Moore would not be getting the same level of touches,
Absolutely.
in my opinion. So like I said, I always want to be fair about our. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you find it interesting that Colin Wilson's name has started to come back up now? Bobby said in a press conference the other day that Colin Wilson has had a good week of practice, and now we've decided that maybe he could play again.
I'm gonna kill somebody.
You don't have to hit
Yeah,
that to go to break. You don't have to hit that to go to break.
Quick commercial break. Midday with Marcus Maben. 8150-939 is the number on 939 The Ville.
Through the years, Cards fans have enjoyed winning the Fiesta Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl, and now your friends at
commercial break. Steve, can you start reminding me on the YouTube channel to go back and come off commercial break?
Yeah, I got you.
Because I forget that. Yesterday, I did the last 30 minutes. I felt so bad about that. You just
Left them with the big, we're on commercial break.
It was brutal.
That is brutal.
So, Steve, rumors coming around. Well, Tuesday was rumor day, I guess, around here.
Uh-huh.
Thursday is, we'll call it a allegation mixed with rumor day.
Okay.
The story of the tight end Kamari Avery. Can you give a quick summation of what the accusations are going on?
Yeah, I mean right now, we know that Kamari Avery has already been
Charged
off the team. He was, he's on house arrest for allegedly, well, I don't know if it's, I guess it's
he's been charged.
facts. Yeah, I mean, with holding a BB gun to a woman's head, threatening a lot of things. Ended up on house arrest. Now word comes out. I'm giving you the very vague, but
Right.
now he's been accused.
I didn't mean to throw you under the bus. I just didn't know the particular.
You're fine. I mean, I think it's, but now he's been accused of a couple days before the Boston College game of rape.
Right.
So of a different female.
Right.
So we're talking two separate females here.
Right.
Not because I immediately when you read it, I assumed it was the same girl,
Right.
And then of course you read the article and you're like, okay, this is a little different. But I'll just read very vaguely here. I know a lot of people have already heard this, but I think we need to do it for. It says Averett was already under investigation for alleged sexual assault, which the woman first reported in mid-August when he was arrested October 15th for allegedly holding a gun to a different woman's head. Just days after campus police opened the rape case, the 20-year-old sophomore tight end played in Louisville's October 13th game against Boston College, which means basically that this was said to have happened before, but the player, and I'm assuming the coaches would have been notified of a rape allegation
Right.
a couple days before the Boston College game, which he played in.
Right.
So, and then there's, of course, there's he goes on to say that he goes on to say that basically he feels like he can prove that he wasn't there at the time, and that he told the woman he didn't want to be with her, and he thinks that may be the issue.
Right.
So,
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. There's of course there's three parts to this conversation, and the fan base is forced to deal with them all in an equal manner.
Mm-hmm.
The aspect of, last things first, Bobby Petrino knowing or not knowing, right, is a conversation, right?
Yes.
If you have evidence that he knew and went ahead with it, I mean, of course, that's going to be the worst case scenario.
Well, knew of even an allegation.
But see, again,
Yeah.
the reason I started with that end of it first, because I'm sure
Yeah.
that'll be the part that we're probably going to talk about the most, or that's the most that's going to be, unfortunately, that's the aspect of this conversation that's going to get the most conversation,
Yeah.
or people are going to be most concerned with having the conversation.
Right.
We, as a viewership in Louisville, have been in some way, shape, form, or fashion jaded or tainted because of the Chris Jones situation. You have to escape, or you have to tiptoe around the insensitivity of saying, well, an accusation will ruin someone's career if wrong.
Absolutely.
We have direct knowledge of this,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
People who have been falsely accused of something
Yeah.
have a tainted view of reporting and guilty before innocent and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
General public accusation, you're out of here. If you get proven innocent, then you can come back, right? Yeah. So there's just ways to view it. And again, if you've been through a guilty through media, proven innocent, you have a different view.
Absolutely.
The Bobby Petrino aspect. Ohio State fan is Urban Meyer knew. Okay, he didn't know. Like there are certain fan bases that were guilty before the results come out, right? So if you're a lawyer for Bobby Petrino, you say an accusation is an accusation, and I can't do anything until I look into this a little more, right? Mm-hmm. Whether or not that works or flies is up to the way the public ingests it. It also goes into how you're performing. If people want to give you that, give you that leeway. It should not be that way, but that's how things are consumed. Things like this are consumed.
So I had a little insight from a caller that called in about it, and basically what she said was that the lady reported it right away, but it was in August, but that they kept it from the coaches because it was a university matter because they wanted to investigate it without the interference of anything.
Right.
And then when you take a rape kit, it takes 3 to 6 months to get the results back. That identifies why there was a gap. And so the coaches didn't know about the incident.
Well, but they did before the Boston College game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we're saying. I mean, they didn't know about this the entire time.
Cool.
But 2 days before Boston College, this was brought to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But again, that's the first part of the investigation. If this is proof or evidence, like I said, because he has a right to his story, but you don't know. Personally, I don't know what the zero tolerance law is. Mm-hmm. As far as any university, as far as accusations, as far as we have reason to believe something may have happened. We've taken statements from both sides, between consensual or non-consensual. Like, I don't know what's the zero tolerance policy rule. Not only do I not know, the NFL doesn't know, the NBA doesn't know, there's no sports organizations who have a clean policy. Michigan State and their basketball players who were accused and there's been some cover-ups and things like that in the Olympic scandal. Like, there is no perfect formula for this. And here's the thing. If you give somebody legal, the word I want to use is if you give someone accused of something heinous anything remotely looking like a extra benefit, a benefit of the doubt, a fair, that's going to reflect bad on you. So it's a risk even. It's a risk even saying I haven't had enough time to confirm this or deny this or anything like that. But in a time like this, if there's a zero tolerance policy on this is just, it is what it is. Right. And again, this fan base has such a jarred perception of incidents like this. There's there's more ways to consume it than, oh my God, Bobby knew, he did this, you got to go. So that's where we're at, and that's why it's not a black and white conversation to even have. So we just have to report it. Report what's fact, which we haven't got to that part yet. I mean, if it's just confirmed that some of the coaches knew, or Bobby knew, or the whole coaching staff knew, and that's that. Okay, we're at the last part of that investigation right now. Like I say, if we got
well, I think you can say, look, I'm very sympathetic towards
victims,
the women that were victims in this situation, and say, in the same breath, I think you can say, I'll wait until, I'm not going to form an opinion until I hear everything.
Which is considered crass now.
Yeah.
And understandably.
And I'm not talking the Bobby thing. Like, look, for me, when I say that, I'm talking about just the case, because I think immediately when you're in the situation where we're at as a fan base right now, I mean, let's not sugarcoat it, even though it's horrible to think that we. I mean, it's just the facts that this will get lumped into. Should a coach stay or should he go? And I'm not saying you're right or wrong for doing that.
Right.
So, but I mean, that's where we're at. It's not good, but I don't know. I hope that it was not the case. I try to hope for the good in a situation like that. Not that there's good, but that this didn't happen. But I mean, you know, the problem with Kamari Averitt will be you have.
But it was the same problem with Chris Jones.
Yeah, but Chris Jones didn't come into the university as a guy who had already been, you know, with armed robbery. I mean, you were kind of like, dude, you're getting in on a
second chance.
Yeah, this is a second chance thing, which actually I believe U of L has done. Well, we haven't had much lately, so when I say this, but U of L's done very good with that.
I just made that point.
Yeah.
A week ago.
Yeah.
That the comparable trouble is superb out of the University of Louisville compared to anybody else, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's not a salacious conversation because nobody cares when people are doing good. You know, like this is the only thing that's going to move the needle. We're rolling along. Midday with Marcus Maben. 8150 939 is the number on 939 The Ville.
All this time on commercial break.
Friday Night Lights. With our 20-plus sales professionals working in the Kentucky area, let BSN take care of you and your team. BSN Sports even outfits the staff here at ESPN Louisville. So trust the pros we trust. BSNSports.com.
If there's one thing ex-U of L quarterback Chris Redmond knows, it's a good piece of exercise equipment. That's why he recently went to the fitness market to get his Precor treadmill.
Fitness market's been awesome. You know, I wanted to get back in shape at this point in my life, and, you know, getting on a treadmill is part of that. I feel like when I get on my Precor machine, I get on there, it feels like back in the locker room, back in the weight room, and, you know, back in my routine. And I think that's been really good for me, and I'm really happy that I have a Precor machine from Fitness Market.
You can own a Precor treadmill right now for $36 a month or a Precor elliptical for $39 a month with the Fitness Market 0% financing offers for a limited time. And they'll set it up for you just like they did for Chris Redmond, in a place in your home where you'll actually use it and it's not in the way.
They went through all the different things that I never would think about as far as placement, and they think of all the things that you don't think of, and it's been a wonderful experience.
So get to the Fitness Market right now, Westport Road just inside the Snyder, or Plantside Drive and Waterson Trail, thefitnessmarket.com.
Anyone can deliver a box of groceries, but when you consider the source, only Kroger can bring you the fresh, delicious food and quality products you already know and love. And no matter how you like to get your groceries, Kroger makes it easy with store pickup. And now you can have your order shipped right to your door. So now it's easier than ever to check out while you're chilling when you shop online with the Kroger app or at Kroger.com today.
Chances are you've recently talked about it, or thought about it, or might even be thinking about it right now. You're thinking it's time to upgrade your vehicle, and boy do we have the place for you. Globe Auto Sales. Family owned and operated, serving the greater Kentuckiana area since 1972. Why Globe Auto Sales? Well, the answer is simple. The staff at Globe Auto Sales focuses entirely on the quality buying experience, not the high-pressured sales pitch you get at other places. So while you're thinking about it, stop by Globe Auto Sales located at 5705 Bardstown Road. Check out their inventory at Globe Autos online. Oh, and be sure to tell them you're a friend of 93.9 The Ville.
Louisville football is back in action Saturday afternoon when the Cards host Wake Forest. And for the most pre- and post-game coverage, keep it locked on ESPN Louisville. The Miller Lite Louisville football pregame show with me, Mark Innes, will begin at 10 a.m. live from Caboose number 5 on 93.9 The Ville. And then directly following the Cards and Demon Deacons, it's the Miller Lite postgame show, also on 93.9 The Ville. We're the first place that will take your calls, hear live from Bobby Petrino, as well as sound from players in the locker room. If it's Cardinal football. We talk about it here on ESPN Louisville.
Ever dreamed of winning $1 million from the Kentucky Lottery? Well, your dream might just come true when you play the new scratch-off ticket 100 times the cash. Top prize is $1 million. 100 times the cash will be making lots of people in Kentucky happy with more than $100 million in total cash prizes and over 500,000 winners between $50 and $5,000. 100 times the cash from the Kentucky Lottery. And please play responsibly. Remember, it's just a game.
What good is it having that beautiful view on your front and backyard if you can't see through your old grimy windows? Or how about when you let a little fresh air and your windows are constantly getting stuck? If this sounds like your current situation, it's time to make that call to Windows Plus. They have the best free lifetime transferable warranty, the best installation in town, quality products, doors, windows, siding, and gutters. They've also been voted the most efficient for 2018 and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and all 5-star reviews, which means these are exactly the new windows you've been looking for. So go visit them at 11501 Plantside Drive, Louisville, Kentucky, or 502-494-0120. That's Windows Plus. Make the call.
If your heating and cooling system is old, inefficient, and on the fritz, believe it or not, you could be in luck. Now is the perfect time to replace and upgrade your system with your local factory-authorized Bryant dealer, BJ Heating and Cooling. BJ Heating and Cooling is offering 0% financing with approved credit on all Bryant equipment installs. Whatever it takes. BJ Heating and Cooling offers free estimates on installing heat pumps, furnaces, ACs, and mini splits. Call the experts you can trust at BJ Heating and Cooling or visit bjheatcool.com today.
Here's what you missed on The Drive with Mark Ennis.
Georgia Tech's official football Twitter account saying thanks to Delta for our 10th touchdown, talking about them landing safely back at the airport.
And then Delta tweeting back.
You got the ground game covered, we'll take care of the air game.
Oh.
Like, this is where we are.
I know.
Louisville's the butt of jokes. Louisville football is the butt of jokes.
Well, you give up. How many yards do we give up on the ground?
1 million.
The Drive, weekdays 3 to 6 on 93.9 The Ville.
Matt here, head brewer and owner at Great Flood Brewing Company. The way we make our beer is important because of the people who drink it. Brewed for those who share a connection to the community, we use the finest ingredients and best practices to honor our history and build upon it. Louisville made, brewer owned. Find Great Flood 6-packs at your local retailers throughout the city. Learn more and follow our journey at greatfloodbrewing.com.
Want to be part of the show? Hit us up on the Fan Outfitters Twitter feed at 93.9 The Ville.
ESPN Louisville is your home again this year for ESPN's College Game Day. Join Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard, and Reese Davis as they preview the weekend's biggest game. Coverage Saturday begins at 10 a.m. live from Jacksonville as Florida faces off against Georgia. And it's only on ESPN 680 and 105.7. College Game Day on ESPN Louisville is presented by UPS Jobs, Geico of Louisville, and fueled by Kroger.
Hey, this is Alfonso Ribeiro, and when I'm in Louisville, the only place to get great roast beef is Top Round Roast Beef.
Hey, this is Mike Modano. If you're looking for the best roast beef sandwich in town, look for Top Round Roast Beef.
Hi, this is Jim McMahon, and when I'm in Louisville, I go to Top Round Roast Beef.
It's the best roast beef you'll find, and Top Round is right here in Louisville. Tell them you listen to ESPN, and you'll get fries and a drink free with the purchase of any sandwich. I go with the OG, but you can't go wrong with any selection. Top Round Roast Beef in St. Matthews, and don't forget the custard.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
Does your kid play an individual or team sport? Do you coach a youth team? ESPN Louisville and the YMCA Louisville are now giving you a chance to brag on them each Friday morning at 9:30 on The Diener Show. Email brag at espnlouisville.com. That's brag at espnlouisville.com. You can write out an email or even send in an MP3 recording. It's the Brag Line, brought to you by the YMCA Louisville. Let your kids score big at the YMCA. Develop skills and build confidence. Register your child for youth sports at ymcalouisville.org.
Football season is here, and SeatHub.com is the best place to find the best seats at the lowest prices to upcoming Louisville games. Why waste time with long ticket lines? Just head to SeatHub.com. They guarantee your tickets will arrive on time, be valid, and refund you if the event gets canceled. Search from millions of tickets at the lowest prices. SeatHub.com. That's SeatHub.com. Seats for every fan.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
You're listening to Middays with Marcus Maben, broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services Studio on 93.9 The Ville. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Midday with Marcus Maben. Is the station. It's always important for me to repeat the 93.9 is the station, because you should always tell a friend to tell a friend. Anytime you tell a friend who you listen to, what time you listen to, via live or podcast, it does wonders for us. It ensures that we just can't be bullied around because we're a problem. We know our voices, it reverberates through the community. So anytime you say those things to each other, it really, really helps people. And we want to make sure you know ESPN Louisville is your exclusive home in Louisville to the World Series. Friday, Game 3, Red Sox and Dodgers, 7 p.m. on 93.9 The Ville. Saturday, Game 4, Red Sox Dodgers, of course, 7 p.m. on 93.9 The Ville. The MLB playoffs on ESPN Louisville are presented by UPSJobs.com, the Huffman Auto Group, OPC Services, and Papa John's. Also, the NFL, including Super Bowl 53 on ESPN Louisville, scheduled below. Dolphins, Texans, 8 o'clock. Jaguars, Eagles in London, 9:30 a.m. Colts, Raiders, 3 p.m. Saints, Vikings, 7:30. NFL on ESPN Louisville is presented also by, here it is, BJ Heating and Cooling, Bluegrass Barrels and Gifts, Merkley, Kendrick Jewelers, and MrDelivery.com.
Speaking of Mr. Delivery, thanks to Tommy and the Mr. Delivery team for bringing by Zoe's Kitchen to the ESPN Louisville studios. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, dinner, cater for the office or the big game. Use promo code ESPN for a discount on your first order. Download the new app or head to MrDelivery.com. Local restaurants delivered.
People, we are all family in here. We argue with each other, and then we come together. You know why? You know why you can never stay mad at Brian Hall? You know why you can never stay mad at Steve Rummage or Marcus Maben? Like, you can get mad for a day, and you'll be back. But here's the thing. You do recognize that we are very good human beings, for the most part. We have our flaws. We share our flaws. We share more of our flaws than you do. Don't play these games with me in here, Steve. I'm sitting here talking about how good of a people we are as a group, and Steve is Snapchat filtering me.
I know, man. It's hard to focus.
Can you imagine how
I thought he was taking a picture. I was trying to smile for him.
While I'm sitting here talking, and he's just being juvenile. But people, I'm saying we're good people. We're good people in here. I just heard a story about somebody who works in this studio, and I want them to take their time, and I want you to turn up your volume and listen to how good the people in here are that I work with.
So yesterday, I was going down Hirschborn Lane. This is probably about 10:15 last night, 10:30ish, somewhere in that time. On my way home, but I am heading towards the 64 entrance right there, kind of by Boombah's Pizza. And right out in front of Boombah's, going the other direction, I look over and I see a car that is sitting in the middle of the street with, it looks like no lights on, and just kind of sitting there. And I'm like, something's weird about that. And so I kind of watch it for a little while, and I'm going the opposite direction. And right about that time, a black pickup truck comes from behind it and smashes straight into the back of it. The pickup has the wheel go underneath his car and basically rips part of the right side of his pickup off. and then the back end of this small SUV is smashed in.
You saw this in your rearview mirror?
I saw it I was probably about even with it on the other side of the street as it was happening.
Wow.
And then I immediately, there's a grass median right there by Liquor Barn, and I cut across the grass median and went back to the scene and jumped out of my car, and the guy was already out of his pickup truck. And I think he'll obviously have some serious soreness today, but at the time seemed okay.
Right,
was
adrenaline.
very angry about why the car was just stopped in the middle of the street. And then I ran up to the car because the lady was in the car, and her car door had jammed closed, and you couldn't, it wasn't able to open, and she couldn't get out. And she was okay, she was conscious, but she did have some blood and different things that were, you know, just, we'll keep out the gory details, but she looked like she was going to be okay, but was going to have a couple injuries. But she was freaking out because she could not get out of her car. And so we have a couple individuals that were trying to open the door, and we finally got the door open, and she came out and she had some sort of neck injury. She was complaining about her neck. The gentleman was okay. In the process, of course, which I always encourage people that are by wrecks, if you're not helping, like, get out of the way.
Yes.
Because another wreck happened while we were sitting there. Another car slammed into the back of another one.
Kind of rubbernecking.
Yeah, because they were trying to bottle up and were paying attention to the wreck. That guy got out very angry, but then he found out there was a baby in the car, and so then he kind of calmed down. But it was a stringent situation. The police officers showed up, the EMS showed up, the fire department. They eventually got her on a stretcher and sent her off. I'm not sure how she's doing today. I haven't checked up on that, but we did get her out of the car, and she looks to be okay, and everybody looks to be okay after a pretty serious wreck. Both cars look to be definitely totaled.
Well, Brian, let me say I'm proud of you for not just telling a story about how you saw some wreck and you don't know what happened and waiting to hear about it on the news like too many of us do. And I say us do because I've seen things where I did not get out, you know what I'm saying? But kudos to you for actually stepping up and doing something.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully the lady's okay today as well.
Yeah.
It was actually, this is kind of it must have been a bad part of town at that point because this is about 2 blocks from the Kroger as well.
Oh, wow.
It's a terrible, there's nothing you can transition out of that story that I almost tried to transition out of what I'm happy about now. So because I've made it so awkward.
Sorry about that.
I'm just going to, no, you did exactly what you're supposed to do. As a professional, I was supposed to have a different kind of story and transition, but people, I'm getting better. Give me time. So guess what I just learned how to do? Speaking of saving the public. People, on our YouTube channel, I have officially learned how to put people in YouTube channel time out.
That's right.
Ooh.
Daddy Marcus will punish you. You get on our YouTube channel and start running that mouth.
The YouTube channel is We Are Made for the Ville. As soon as we went to commercial break, I had a text or two that looked up and was like, Marcus, can you please stop this jackrabbit from just jumping on as soon as the show starts? Louisville program sucks, right? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you waking up to say my program sucks? Like, you're waiting till 10 o'clock to razz and harass, and I found a way to put him in timeout. Now, I don't know how long timeout lasts. Hopefully, the first time is probably 48 hours or something. But I warn you, there is a timeout button and there is a block button. And I chose to do the timeout. He deserved to be blocked. But I just went with the timeout button just to send a little message, Steve.
We'll give you a shot.
So, yeah, right. So people should know now on the YouTube channel, you don't have to deal with the uncomfortable harassment and just immature behavior of some people that tune in. And I'm really, really, really excited about that.
I am too. Well, you kind of got to read those comments more than I do. So
the YouTube channel comments.
So perfect.
So people, we're talking about football earlier in the show.
Yeah.
On a better note, ACC Media Day.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Hall, do you have our ACC Media Day representative clip? Because people, we're gonna play a little bit of it, and as soon as we catch something, so this is not gonna be one of our end of the show playouts. We're gonna kind of live play it and kind of live react and respond to it as we go along. I'll give Brian the pause with the fist in the air, and we'll kind of just play it by ear. Brian?
Throughout our streaming day today, the Spectrum is where the 2019 ACC Men's Basketball Tournament will be held. We have 3 schools remaining with us today, and the first of the 3 is Louisville. The Cardinals are with us for the next 20 minutes or so. And for those on the podium, we make mention to those in the room that we've got 2 microphones floating around. So if you are to ask a question, please be directive in your question to one of our 3 personalities and
Brian,
identify yourself and the agency that you are with.
One second. Steve, you had to take care of business yesterday. You had to be an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go any further, let me press a quick rewind. I had a conversation at the end of the show that you quarterbacked last year. And I just want to give you a chance. I want to almost go picture me rolling here. For those of you who are listening in the last half of the hour, I talked about ACC Media Day and something you and I have not discussed. You made an observation last year.
Okay.
That observation turned out to be not only prophetic, but it bought you credibility with me on a psychological level.
All right.
There was a moment last year where there was a round table of coaches.
Yeah.
They were sitting around and they were talking and they were answering questions.
Yeah.
Great coaches and long-time Hall of Famers and things like that. And there was David Padgett.
Yes.
And you made an observation.
They were disgusted. Yeah, they were absolutely disgusted. They were like, look at this dude sitting there wearing this Louisville shirt, and I'm over here at Georgia Tech. You know, I'm over here coaching it.
Josh Pastner was the #1 culprit that caught your attention.
Yeah, and Buzz Williams.
Oh, I forgot about him.
And Buzz Williams is sitting over there like, are you kidding me? I'm over here at Virginia Tech.
In Blacksburg, Virginia, in this pit of a gym.
And this dude.
You got the 3rd biggest arena in college.
Yeah. And one of them's a football stadium that you're behind. Like, man, and here I am at Blacksburg, Virginia. Like, they were disgusted. You could tell.
They were disgusted.
Yeah.
But you know what we also noticed? They were extremely nice and non-threatened.
Yeah, I said that, and I didn't mean this any shade towards them, but I'm like, they're like,
yeah, because we don't do shade anymore. David Padgett yesterday,
Yeah.
we cleaned the slate because he's back at practice.
But let me tell you the difference. Why they would have rather him kept the job. Did you hear what Buzz Williams said this year?
No.
This year, Buzz Williams said, yeah, Chris Mack, probably be a guy, honestly, he said, he was like, he's a Hall of Famer probably before he even quits coaching.
If we lower expectations, if we join other groups like other schools, if we go on air with other local beat writers and get on there, and this is a fact right now, people. If Steve and I started being the guys, because a lot of times you hear guys from other newspaper areas kind of call into these shows for content. If we started being those content guys for other universities and local shows and lowered the expectations, I guarantee Chris Mack would win the Coach of the Year this year.
Yeah.
Chris Mack would win the Coach of the Year if we spent all our time talking about this is a 3-year plan.
Yeah.
Because if we said
this, they're going to end up in the top 8 or something of the ACC.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's 100%. It'll be between Chris Mack and Jeff Capel. And they're scared to give Chris Mack the Coach of the Year because they know he's going to be a problem long term. Yeah. You cannot have this dude come to the ACC first year and get Coach of the Year right after he won Big East Coach of the Year. he's going to be the.
Oh yeah, he's got no shot at winning.
He's got absolutely no shot because that would be a huge power shift, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. It is, but I think he probably got a much different reception this year.
That's where I wanted to go. You said you already started with Buzz Williams acknowledging how tough of a coach he is.
Yeah.
And Steve, in my thoughts, I thought about how he's not being received.
Yeah, it's probably not. Welcome to the ACC, buddy.
Absolutely not, is it?
Yeah, no, because now you're going, man. I mean, last year we could kind of eliminate Louisville as an issue. Now it's like, no, Louisville ain't going nowhere, man. Not only are they not going nowhere, they're going to be just as good, if not better. And that's not shade at Rick. I mean, that's just saying, different system, different everything. I mean, yeah. And you don't, for the first 4 years, it's going to take you 4 years or so to kind of get used to coaching against him on a yearly basis because he's a totally new concept.
You don't know his plan, his style, what he's good at. You can't scout him out. Let me get to these phone lines before I go back to the interview. Who do we got here? Darren. Darren, thanks for joining us on 93.9, my man. Fire away.
Marcus, Steve, I love you guys, and Brian Hall is the best. But what I'm about to say is a little off the beaten path, but I got to get it out of my system. And I may be the only person that's got steam coming out of my ears. And it's this. I'm throwing some cold water towards Rick Bozick, Tim Sullivan, Eric Crawford of the world. And yesterday proved my point. And apparently I'm the only one that feels this way. But isn't it ironic how this particular press conference we're listening to, LaFonso Ellis asked a basketball question. All the other questions were basketball related. Well, who was the first person to try to throw a negative question toward Chris McWay? Our very own Eric Crawford. It's a local freaking media that's looking to print nothing but bad stuff about us. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Stephen Enoch's dad on too.
Fluid. Love you guys. And as always, go
Rick.
Listen, Darren, I appreciate the call. Yeah, that's a fact. Speaking of facts, Bill at Scorns and Sons. This is the reason. This next call is the reason we're partners. I have a very, very, very special guest,
to say the least,
on the line right now. Rick Enoch. Yes, people, Mr. Enoch. Thanks for joining me on Midday with Marcus Maben. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing? Just wanted to say, and thanks for welcoming me, but just wanted to say that I listen to you through my tuning app over here in Connecticut every day, and so I enjoy your show. Thank you.
No, listen, I really appreciate it. To what do we owe this honor? Like, what made today the day that you said, you know what, I'm going to just call in and let them know that I'm listening?
I was just thinking that myself, why today, but I just wanted to chime in and just let you know that I listen to you, and I'm glad that you're on because you help me stay informed about what's going on out there, you know. That's pretty much it.
Oh, I appreciate the call. I mean, while I got you on the phone, I would be tortured if I didn't kind of ask, what has the journey been like for Steven since kind of the leaving Connecticut to arriving here? Like, can you give us a little bit of insight on what that journey's been like?
Oh, wow. As you know, the couple of years he spent at UConn, it just didn't go as we hoped.
Right.
No, I don't want to say anything about the university or Ali, but sometimes situations aren't, ideal for individuals.
Right.
And with Steven, being, he's a very good kid. He's a sensitive kid too. It just didn't quite work out. But I was proud of him by, making that decision, and telling me, Dad, this is not the place I got to go. Because it was up to me. I would have said, listen, just work your tail off, get in the best shape of your life, and just go dominate. But he said he didn't believe it was the right situation, so he went ahead and made the move, so I was proud of him for that.
No. So speaking of the best shape of his life, I've actually seen him recently, and I'd probably agree with him taking your words for it. Like, how excited is he about, finally getting to play and getting into this year, and kind of how does he share that with you about his excitement?
Well, for the first time, Steven has real confidence, and in the past, that's what I believe kind of he lacked there. He lacked in to have that confidence, and having the people around him that would bring it out. And speaking to him now, he has a certain calmness and confidence, a little swag, as we say.
Right.
And so that's the biggest difference I see in him now.
Well, last question before I get you out of here on the Escort Collision Center hotline for Mr. Rick Enoch. Moving forward, could you give me his number one goal, like, an expectation headed into the season?
Well, obviously, he wants to just prove himself, because of what he's been through, and, he had the naysayers and the doubters and stuff. So, him being a sensitive kid, he just really wants to prove himself. And his dream, of course, is making it to the league. As I always told him, the only person stopping him is him.
No, that's an absolute fact. And being the dad of a player, I kind of know your struggles. I just wanted to say I really appreciate you calling in and kind of, giving everybody a little glance behind the door. As you know, I kind of respect the parents' privacy a little bit, and I never want to ask too many invasive questions. But I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate the show and go Cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
It,
that was fun.
That's why you listen to Middays with Marcus Maben, Steve Rummage on the side, is because you get phone calls from Rick Enoch that said, "Hey, look, he really didn't call in to talk. You started asking questions because he was just like, nah, hey, I like the show." What he was saying, though, I think you can see. Watching, I was gonna say, he said father of Stevie or Rick Enoch, father of Antoine,
right.
So, but I mean, you see, watching the red-white game, I think what he's saying, I love that you got to hear that, and this is why that's a big deal. Don't just look over what he said there if you were listening, going, "Oh, that's cool, Steve Enoch's dad called in."
Right.
I think you could look at the kid and say he is confident around the basket
and feels like he belongs out there in major Division I basketball.
Absolutely, and somebody asked me this question, and I'm so glad his dad called in because somebody said, "Are you going?" My buddy, he said, "Are you going to get on Steve Enoch for being finesse around the basket?" The way, because me and you, we're yeah, dunk everything around the basket.
Right.
I said, if you watched Steve Enoch at that red-white game and could see the confidence that kid had in this is my game, this is what I'm doing, this is how I play, it was 100% different from what I've watched over the past few years with big men that just said, that's not my game, I'm just scared I'm going to get pitched. That's not my game.
Had the yips.
Yes, that's not my game. I'm not aggressive enough to go up and hammer it. Like, that is a Steve Enoch game, and I'm okay if that kid says, "Oh, this is what I do, man. I'm confident. I don't care." What are you gonna say? Dunk the ball? You dunk the ball.
I'm really glad he shared the idea of Dad's point of view is get in shape and tough it out. You have a player that is the cornerstone of your quote unquote new MAC rebuilding program.
Yeah.
Who comes from a place of stick it out.
Yep.
That's what we saw before it was confirmed by the father. Stick it out.
Yeah.
Get in shape, stick it out. But Dad respects son for saying, I know what you're saying, Dad, but this is not the right situation.
Right.
It's not the right field.
I gave it 2 years. Something's not right here. And, of course, I think he was vindicated a little bit once you kind of see Kevin Ollie, the thing.
Right.
Some of the tactics were weird.
Right.
A little. So you go, okay, maybe a kid like that knew what he was talking about when he left. So, yeah, no, I mean, that's cool. And I think him and Malik are going to be an incredible 1-2 punch.
I tell you what, man, that one made me feel good on the inside a little bit. Like, What I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the show. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back with the MAC questions. Darren got a little riled up about some of the questions he was asked, but that'll be a great way to come back from the commercial break. Midday with Marcus Maben, 8150, 93.9 is the number, or 939 the Ville.
At Woodbridge Winery, our philosophy is life is measured in moments, make the most of them. That's what guides us every day. Robert Mondavi founded Woodbridge in 1979 to make light, smooth, easy drinking wines that bring people together. Great California wines made for everyday enjoyment. They're delicious on their own or with a variety of foods. And with 13 bright, fruit-forward flavors, there's a Woodbridge wine to share with everyone at your table. Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi, making moments worth sharing for over 30 years. Please enjoy our wines responsibly. Woodbridge Winery at Campo, California.
Louisville football is back in action Saturday afternoon when the Cards host Wake Forest. And for the most pre- and post-game coverage, keep it locked on ESPN Louisville. The Miller Lite Louisville football pregame show with me, Mark Innes, will begin at 10 a.m. live from Caboose number 5 on 93.9 The Ville. And then directly following the Cards and Demon Deacons, it's the Miller Lite postgame show, also on 93.9 The Ville. We're the first place that will take your calls, hear live from Bobby Petrino, as well as sound from players in the locker room. If it's Cardinal football, we talk about it here on ESPN Louisville.
With fall approaching, are you dreading leaf removal, trimming bushes, bags, mowers, and blowers? Call the experts you can trust at Bosch Lawn Care. Be the envy of the neighborhood with a luscious green, leaf-free lawn this fall. Give us a call at 833-2GET-CUT or find us online at BoschLawnCare.com. That's BAISCH LawnCare.com. One visit, one call. Bosch Lawn Care is your solution this fall. And as always, professional, affordable, Bosch Lawn Care.
So, Steve, what do you think about Bill at Scorns and Sons Collision Centers, man?
Let me just say, I had a friend who totally ruined his car. They got him taken care of quick, efficiently, and out the door.
Family owned and operated for over 70 years, Ed Scorns is the leader in auto repair technology and technician training. Do not, I repeat, do not let just anyone repair your vehicle. It's your choice. Tell your insurance company you're taking your vehicle to Bill at Scorns and Sons Collision Centers. There are 2 locations, Bardstown Road and Shelbyville Road in Middletown. Or call us at 491-BODY or visit us at etscorns.com. That's ETSCORNS.com.
If you want to get stronger, lose some weight, or just boost your health, then you want Baptist Health Performance Training. Hi, Chris Redman here, and along with other former U of L and current NFL players, Eric Wood, Dion Branch, and Breno Giacomini, we have partnered with Baptist Health Performance Training to bring you high-quality performance training. Whether you're just starting or a professional athlete, visit BaptistHealthPerformanceTraining.com to learn more about our 2-week trial for just $25, BaptistHealthPerformanceTraining.com.
Hi, I'm Circuit Court Judge Derwin Webb. In 1959, a sharecropper named George attempted to register to vote in the local Tennessee election. Because of the Jim Crow laws in his 5th grade education, he was denied the right. Yet, he persisted. He studied to retake the test and was denied again because of another requirement that he could not fulfill. Yet, he persisted. He studied once again and came back with a group of friends. Before he entered the office, 2 men with weapons drawn told him to leave and never come back. Because of his act of courage, he lost his job, his home, and was kicked off the farm where he lived and forced to move to Indianapolis with other relatives. I know George well because he was my grandfather. So when you think of the importance of voting this year, think of my grandfather and the other George Webbs that made the sacrifice for us all to vote. So please, please vote.
Let me do 30 to get this one other spot in.
Matt here, head brewer and owner at Great Flood Brewing Company. The way we make our beer is important because of the people who drink it. Root for those who share a connection to the community. We use the finest ingredients and best practices to honor our history and build upon it. Louisville made, brewer owned. Find Great Flood 6-packs at your local retailers throughout the city. Learn more and follow our journey at greatfloodbrewing.com.
Want to be part of the show? Hit us up on the Fan Outfitters Twitter feed at 93.9 The Ville.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
Middays with Marcus Maben on 93.9 The Ville is broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services Studio. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. It's Midday with Marcus Maben. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. We got a problem, people. We got a big problem. It just hit me. Darren, I did not try. I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate your passion, but I tried not to go where you were going. Turns out you were right. I was wrong. There's a reason to be in an outrage. Steve, during the break, I yell at you. Take a picture. Take a picture. Take a picture. I'm sorry. It looked like I scared you when I was yelling, take a picture. But by the time you figured out what I was talking about, I think you would agree that taking a picture was necessary. Steve, can you please explain to these people what I had you take a picture of during the break?
We took a picture of, I believe it's the Dan Le Batard show that was on ESPN.
Yes.
With big letters that say pay for play scheme.
Wait a minute. Nationally syndicated radio and television, Dan Le Batard, who we know and love.
Said pay for play scheme, and the player was one Raymond J. Spalding in his Louisville jersey.
Are we allowed to call him Raymond J. Spalding? Do we even know if it's a J? Are we eventually going to find out if his middle name has a J?
It probably doesn't.
I bet it doesn't.
Good. He probably wishes it
J.
did.
Spalding is who we know and love as one of ours. There was a picture on the television on ESPN with Pay for Play as the title and a picture of Raymond J. Spalding was used as your story cover.
Just Ray Spalding.
On October 25th, the year of our Lord, 2018, you're using Raymond J. Spalding as your picture. He's not even college anymore. And Kansas, they've just had it on the ticker last night that Kansas is holding out Sylvia D'Souza, right?
Yeah.
For his involvement in pay for play scam. Kansas just announced they're sitting out a player in a pay for play scam, and they use talk about poorly chosen graphic to represent your story.
Well, good old Ray Spalding. As you know, Ray Spalding, big time local kid,
The local Louisville kid who was a quote-unquote 5-star project, right?
Yeah.
Upside 5-star potential project.
Yeah.
Who left school as a junior is the picture of your pay for play on the nationally syndicated Dan Le Batard show.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. Oh, Dirty Ray.
That is a funny nickname, Dirty Ray.
Dirty Ray. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
That's just ridiculous,
I know. It's
Steve.
like, come on, even if you're gonna use a Louisville, I'd rather use Rick. I didn't start putting random players up there. I mean, Ray Spalding didn't have nothing to do with that. Like, good Lord.
All the pictures you could have put up there.
Ray Spalding, man, here, stayed home, and got to play in one tournament because of that crap and Katina Powell crap.
Donovan Mitchell would have been a better selection for that picture.
Sure.
Or were you scared to use a picture of him? Did you think that was a picture of Brian Bowen or something? Like, I need to know what went into selecting Raymond J. Spalding for your representation of pay for play. Like, who does that, and who gets away with that? If Dan Le Batard doesn't somebody please at him in a Twitter message and ask, why did you use Raymond Spalding of Louisville, the local Louisville recruit?
Yeah. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, if I'm, and that's one of the things, man. It's like if you're Spalding or something, you're like, man, don't put my picture up there.
Yes.
What's that got to do with me? Ain't got
Yes.
nothing to do with me, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, don't.
He's on his way out the door before he wasn't even supposed to play with Bowen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was going to last year.
Don't remind me.
He'd probably come back this year for us. You'd have Ray Spalding, Anthony Simons, Romeo. Oh, it'd been good. It'd been okay. They'd have found a way to win a game or two.
That's so depressing.
Stevie knock.
Steve Rummage right now is in here. He's cutting himself.
Golly, man.
He's stabbing himself with a fork right now, people, on the YouTube channel. Brian Hall, give me some more of that Chris Mack interview before I go crazy in here.
We will ask it from the podium then to get started. Coach, welcome to the league, or welcome back to the league. What have your impressions been like today?
It's been great. Obviously, when you have media day, basketball season's right around the corner, and for our guys, our first true test comes this Sunday against Bellarmine in exhibition, and then before you know it, we'll be battling Nicholls State on November 8th. So the start of basketball season is right around the corner, and we've used this time over the summer and early fall to really try to learn personalities, gain relationships with the guys on our team, and in hopes that we can build a trust between coaching staff and the players, and try to get to the point where terminology becomes consistent and becomes instinctive for our guys, and really try to build towards a season, hopefully one that we'll remember for a while.
Chris, you've seen quite a bit in your collegiate career. What's been your impression over the last couple of months of this change in leadership in Louisville?
Well, I think it's been a positive one. I think so much has been, talked about our program over the last year, 2 years that, hasn't put Louisville basketball in the greatest of light. But
Speaking
the players I have on our team and the ones in the locker room that I coach every day are high character guys and guys that I've really enjoyed coaching and being around, and we've got a lot of work to do, and I think they'd be the first to tell you, but I think the willingness to improve and the willingness to learn has been really good, and it's been a very enjoyable ride so far, and we're looking forward to a very productive season in one of the toughest leagues, if not the toughest league in all the country.
Athletic directors talk about having a 100-day plan when they take the chair administratively. Did you have a 100-day plan? Did you have a 120-day plan? Was there a process of months or weeks that you had going into it?
Good question.
I had a one-day plan, and that was figure out what I needed to do that next day. And,
good answer.
You get thrown so many different things, and you're trying to do them all at the same time. From hiring a coaching staff to learning the personalities of your players and their families, just learning your way around the city and the school and who you need to lean on, and so there's a ton of stuff that's thrown at you. It's old hat in a way because it's what you did at your previous stop, but it's in a whole new place, and so it's been a quick transition. The 6 months have flown by, but it's been a great one at the same time.
VJ, what are your impressions of the new staff, of this new era that is starting to unfold for Louisville basketball?
I thought they've done a great job up to this point. I feel like we've established a totally new culture, and like Coach Mack said, it's been in a positive for us, and I think we're headed in the right direction.
Christian, same question of you, your impressions, and you're not allowed to say same thing?
Yeah, the coaching staff has been great. They came in right away and started establishing a new culture. I mean, they're different from what I've been accustomed to, but they've done a great job, and we're looking forward to a great year.
Coach, in putting together your coaching staff, how much of the assembly of the staff was based on your personality, that of the school, that of the league? As you put it together, how strategic did you need to be?
I don't worry about all that. I want people that I can trust, people that I've had established relationships with, that know how to coach the game of basketball and that are high character people. So It wouldn't matter if I was coaching the ACC or the MEAC. I'd want the same thing. And so I brought with me Luke Murray and Mike Pegues, who'd been on my staff for several years at Xavier. I hired Dino Gaudio, who was probably covering this event a year ago, and was a guy that coached me at Xavier, and I've had the utmost respect for over the years. And all the administrative guys that are on my coaching staff, I view the same way. I want them to be high character people that I can trust, and I think that's the most important thing.
Christian, it says in the media guide that you have been elected a team captain along with VJ. What does it mean to be a captain?
It means a lot. It just shows that my teammates, hold me at a high standard, and they felt like I was capable of leading them this year. So it meant a lot to me, and each day I come to work, I keep that in mind, with the decisions I make and how diligently I go about my work each day.
VJ, is there pressure in being a captain?
I wouldn't say pressure. I think the word I would use would be more of a responsibility. Kind of piggyback off what Cece said, just having that in mind, that our teammates did choose us as captains, and to keep that in the back of our minds when we come every day, we go to class every day, when we come to workouts or whatever it is that we do, that our teammates are always looking up to us, and that we are that example to set for them. And so we have to be at our best, even when we may not be. But it's, like I said, it's been a great honor up to this point.
Coach, you mentioned exhibiting against Bellarmine this upcoming weekend. Is the team ready for its first game? We had a coach earlier to say that we're almost ready, but we're not quite there yet. What's your status at this point?
Regardless of whether we're ready or not, I think it's needed. I think players feel like they could go 2 or 3 practices and, all right, coach, we're ready to play. And I think coaches need 3 or 4 or 5 months to start their first game before they play their first game. So it is what it is. I think we'll learn a lot from it. I think every experience that you have, both positive and negatively, you learn from it. If you don't, you're not getting better. So I'm excited to see how Sunday plays out, but we still have some practices to go prior to that. But that'll be a good measuring stick of the things that we need to get better at.
Left side of the room, we'll go to the very back with the hand in the air.
LaFonso Ellis, ESPN. Chris, your first year at Xavier as head coach was my first year at ESPN, and of course I was in the A-10 at that time, so got a chance to know the DNA of your teams very well. How much offensively and defensively, and I know you may not have the personnel that you had established at Xavier, but how much of your offensive and defensive philosophy should I plan on seeing this year?
Well, I'd like to think that defensively we'd be very similar. We brought the same belief and the same style of play and the same terminology that we used at Xavier all those many years because it's what our staff's most comfortable with. I feel like you can win on the road with that style. You can win against the best teams with that style. It relies on being together. It relies on communication. It relies on toughness. Offensively, we'll be a little different than Louisville teams of the past. I think offensively, a good coach puts his players in the best position to be successful. And, a year ago, if I would have taken Louisville basketball, I'd probably coached offensively a little different because of the personnel they had. But we're not last year's team. And so, we don't have a plethora of 5 men. So we're going to have to be a little bit unique with how we play. And, I think our guys are getting better every single day. As long as we play the right way, and by that I mean playing together, making the correct decision, making the correct pass, I think you can be successful offensively. But, plays from one year to the next will be tweaked and changed just depending on, who we have on our team and what they do well.
Christian, going back to leadership, there's always a young crop of new student athletes on a team. What's your role in coaching them along?
Just making sure that they're comfortable each day, that they have a good understanding of what Coach Mack and the staff are trying to implement for that day. And, you know, like understanding terminology and things like that, and just, you know, holding them accountable, making sure, you know, if anybody starts slacking, that, you know, not being afraid to confront them, you know, whether that's in front of the team or, you know, off to the side, but just always making sure they're locked in and ready to go.
We have questions to our left along the curtain, standing.
Eric Crawford, WDRB. Chris, you inherit kind of with the job the questions about some of the things going on in college basketball today. At the end of your time downstairs, you were asked about the verdict that came down in the trial recently. What effect, if any, do you think those things have, you know, on the University of Louisville and what you're doing?
Well, it's my understanding that Louisville wasn't on trial. So, you know, certainly we've operated under that cloud of suspicion all around the country. But there are a lot of good things that are happening. I'm represented by a great group of young men that are high character. So my focus has only been on tomorrow's practice, the next day's practice, Bellarmine on Sunday. And at some point, we'll have to worry about that. But, you know, right now is not the time for at least me. I'm more concerned about CC's experience as his one and only shot playing for the University of Louisville.
Coach, we've asked some of our head coaches about building out a non-conference schedule, and obviously because of your hiring, you hadn't had too much of a hand in this year's non-conference schedule. But does it help that as a new head coach, you do have a fairly high number of games at home before having to get on the road and create that strategy, that infrastructure of travel and movement and all of that?
You must not have looked at the opponents of who we were playing,
I did.
both home and away.
Right.
You know, I think for us, the non-conference part of the schedule is all about challenging ourselves and preparing ourselves for ACC play. And I don't know if a program's done a better job with their non-conference, of which I take zero credit and our coaching staff takes zero credit, because that schedule, like you said, was probably 98% of the way through before I accepted the position. So, you know, we'll have one of the most challenging schedules in all of college basketball, but history will show that the selection committee favors those teams that go out and schedule people and aren't afraid to play anybody. So no one's going to be afraid to, or no one's going to accuse us of being afraid to play anybody, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And whether we play at home or on the road, it's really inconsequential because they're all good teams.
Other questions for Louisville from the floor? Players, one of the interesting questions that have come up here today, and it actually came from the floor from a member of the media early on today, was what kind of team will you have when you come back here in March? Now, granted, it's one game at a time, it's 1 month at a time, but as you think about coming back here, what kind of team do you hope you'll come back with, VJ?
Right now, I'm not worried about March. Right now, like I said, we're preparing for Sunday to get ready for that first exhibition. And we're taking this day by day. If we compete and continue to get better like we have been each and every single day, I feel like we put ourselves in a good position to be where we want to be in March when that time comes.
Christian?
Yeah, 30. With the pre-conference schedule we have, I don't think we can begin to worry about March at this point. You know, and after we finish that, then we'll deal with the conference schedule we have. But you know, I think it's every team's goal to be playing our best basketball at the end of the season. That's when it matters. So we're going to focus on working day by day, game by game, and, you know, take care of itself.
Now, Louisville, we will leave it at that. Thank you. And, Coach, again, welcome back to the league.
Thank you.
See you back here in March.
Damn right you'll see me back here in March. I like that. Listen, that was... I know we weren't supposed to play out the full interview at the end, but
it was good. No, I thought it was good.
I didn't have to stop. I didn't have to really find anything. Nothing agitated me too much. I thought Eric Crawford's question was fair.
Well, because his question, I think, came shortly after there was kind of released that, you know, the guilty verdicts.
Right.
So there was a little bit to
Right. Like I said, I know Darren, he's as emotional as all of us, so I could get that. So, yeah. Well, like I said, we'll definitely get a chance to talk a little bit more about today's events tomorrow. Oh, one second.
Huh.
You did
You
the
got
right.
it.
You slowed down.
Good show. Sorry about
Hey.
that.
We'll leave when we say we're leaving.
You did the right. No, you did the absolute. Normally, I'm begging you to hit that button, but here's the thing.
We're not ready. Okay, now we're ready.
I wanted to take a second, people, to just shout out. One of my guys. This is a guilty pleasure of mine. Tiger Basketball Mania, Newburgh Middle School. This is one of the hardest working guys, one of the hardest working youth programs I see doing it. And I don't care who gets mad about this. Listen, if you reach out to me and you show me how hard you're working, I will give you your props in the same way. But Newburgh Middle School, they have Tiger Basketball Mania tonight, family and friends night. They're going to be scrimmaging. Some, you young guys, they're going to get after it. It's one of the biggest events of the year. $5 charge. These youth programs who do a lot with their kids, they also need that support. It's from 4 to 8 p.m. So I would just encourage anybody who wants to see just some young men out there getting after it. And they're trying to prep these men to be good citizens. Also, it's a great follow on Instagram, Newburgh Middle School Basketball. I think that's what it is.
I'm going to check it out right now.
But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I threw it out there, Brian. Now we can get into the dismount part of the show. Jill Blessinger of Keller Williams. Very awesome. Very awesome. Becky Blemo, Caliber Home Loans. Awesome partner. Yep. You keep us rolling. Bill at Scorns & Sons brought you. Bill at Scorns & Sons Collision Center brought you. Father of our very own Steve Enoch.
Very cool.
Rick Enoch.
Yep.
Thanks for calling in. You warmed my heart that, people are listening. The parents are listening. We can relate. They know true sports people when they hear
That's it, man.
That's just fact. Windows Plus.
Thank you.
You got those nice windows. What good is having those?
Good having that beautiful view.
You don't have those nice windows to match. Globe Auto. See you soon.
Kenny doing his thing.
Doing a great job. We need to go out and do an on-location show and just bring some people out.
Some news. Oh, no, we have to go out there because Kenny got some news coming, man. He's doing okay.
Right.
He's doing okay.
I'm going to go beg him to point me to somebody to fix my shoot bar. Did you know that was an shoot bar?
Well, I have a dealership.
I got to talk to shoot bars got to get fixed. We're taking care of business out here, people. Again, we always enjoy it. We always appreciate it. We always, when you tell a friend to tell a friend. Again, you will not get harassed on the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube. Yeah. We are made for a Ville. Subscribe. 8150-939 is always the number. 3831-939 is always the text line. We are made for the Ville's YouTube channel. 10 to 12 is always the time on 93.9 The